Young lady in my car.
All right.
There you go.
Thank you.
Oh, no, thank you. All right, sir. My name's Sid Yiddish.
Adam Smith.
Adam, nice to meet you. Now, this is my sports death museum, so I would like to take you on a tour.
Well, thank you.
All right, why don't you follow me?
All right.
Don't mind my, don't mind my trip on this death instrument. We always start in the end here because it's just kind of, it's better that way. Because we don't like to scare people, because I don't want to put them in a dead end. Bad joke, I know. It's terrible, it's terrible.
Okay.
Okay. So, what we have here, the clothing articles as such in the bag. This is the last remains of Tristan Silverman. Now, Tristan was a roller derby coach for the Los Angeles Flippers. And she was very well known, very roughhouse kind of person, but she was very well known, always got her team on victory. Well, one night, she had an argument with her partner, and her partner got pretty violent with her. And so you see this, this wire here? This is actual scoreboard wire. So she took this wire and she strangled Tristan around the neck with it. And she took one of these gloves and stuffed it in her mouth so she'd suffocate. And of course, you know, that was the end of Tristan. Now her partner was indicted, of course. Now you see this spot right here?
I do.
That's a blood spot. That got her partner in trouble. You see, what happened with Tristan was dismembered and put in this bag. Very convenient, you know, very convenient place to hide. You see, sports bag, hockey sports bag. Very convenient, very convenient.
Wow.
Okay, now follow me. So, now, here is sort of the implements of destruction in a different sort of way. This is, these were used by Orlando the Great. Now, Orlando the Great was a magician. You're probably wondering, magic's a sport. Is that what you're wondering?
Yes.
Of course it is. One of the greatest underrated sports in the world. Now, Orlando had many assistants, at least 4, so you can kind of see the gloves there that I'm going to explain. But he would take his, the bangles here on this hat, on this University of Oregon sports hat, and he would strangle his victims. And then, of course, to help them suffocate, I mean, you know, to get them to shut up from screaming, he would stuff the gloves into their mouths. Then after that, he would chop up his assistants, kind of put them in, take their flesh, you know, kind of pare down the skin, put it into a stew, and he would add in all-American national pastime pasta, and he also threw in White Sox peanuts into the stew, and he would eat it. Now I'm sure he used to buy the peanuts in bulk, so I don't think management knew about that.
Wow, that's a way to go.
Yeah, I know. Now, right here, this is this trophy was won by Allison Delfield. Now she was a bowler. She was a phenomenal bowler. Every time she would walk up to the alley and she'd bowl, she'd pull a strike. Just magic fingers, apparently. That's what they said about her. Well, one night she got home. She's tired, a little tired, worse for wear and tear, and she got a little drunk. Well, you know how that goes sometimes. You wind it down, right? So she was a little too drunk, and she hit the mantle of her fireplace, and you can see how it fell down there. You can see that little crease right there. See, that's what's left in the blood. Because the blood kind of splashed as the top came down on her and split her head open.
Oh.
So that's pretty tough. Now, come this way with me. I know. Now this one, and the next one we're going to see over there, are the most popular items in the museum. This bat, as you can tell, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful Louisville slugger. And this was used by visiting player Joe Schlabotnik of the Milwaukee Brewers from 1972. Now he played for the Brewers, and he was really popular with the kids, really popular with the kids. But of course, you know, you always run into people who didn't like him. And there was an overzealous fan that did not like him, and he somehow overpowered the guards there on the, you know, by the dugouts. He jumped over the box seats, over the dugouts. He grabbed the bat away from Joe, pushed Joe out of the way, and he took the bat. And he swung it at Joe's head. Now you see the little red marks there? That's the blood. Yeah, that's the blood of Joe. Joe got a nasty lump. That guy got away. Still don't know how he did that. Joe lived, but barely. He was in critical condition that day. But now, come on down here. This is probably the most prized possession in the Sports Museum, Death Sports Museum. This, as you can tell, it's a, don't worry about it. It's, I'm not gonna swing you with it. Okay. This is a 1952 classic fly fishing pole reel. And this was used by the late, great American fisherman, Joe Yost. And Joe that day, he was fishing off the coast of Florida. He was fishing for great white, and he just had trouble with his fish, you know. He could not get this fish down at all. So Joe decided to use this pole as a javelin to spear the fish and kill the fish, right? So Joe, he took the pole and he speared it like a javelin. Well, everything was great, except the pole took an ominous turn. It bounced off a rock, did a 360-degree turn, and like a boomerang, pierced Joe straight in the heart and killed him instantly. Wow. Poor Joe, he never saw it coming. He never saw it coming. So, this is the end of the tour, but I know you want a death certificate of your tour.
Sure.
So
okay.
I have a certificate for you, and this says I'm going to sign it for you, and you're going to sign it. It's Sid Yiddish's Sports Death Museum tour, okay. And so I'm going to have you sign right here where it says victim.
That would be me.
Yes,
I survived.
Yes. All right, and I will sign it, and we're going to take a picture together. All right. And whoops. Adam, what's up with Adam? Okay. All right. Ready to? Ready, cameraman.
Yeah, get into it.
Okay,
here.
cameraman Page.
Yep, here we go.
Sir, I'm humbled by your presence.
All right, 3. Hold on, somebody's
Okay.
seeing. Okay, 3, 2, 1. All right.
All right, thank you very much. Adam?
This is a great display. I really appreciate the
Sure.
tour.
Thank you very much for coming.
All right.
Enjoy the rest of Manifest.
Will do. Thank you very much.
Sure, you're welcome. Sir!
This is so professional.
Oh!
Professional.
Yeah, professional. There's no such thing as professionalism.
No? Oh.
In my business.
Oh, okay.
In death, there is no professionalism.
In death, there's no professionalism.
No,
Oh,
no,
okay.
you just do it. So,
Okay.
sir, my name is Sid Yiddish.
Yeah,
And
so
you're-
my name is
Mitn Fidl?
Yidl, yeah, Mitn Fidl.
Fidl.
One of
Oh.
those.
So
yeah.
welcome to my Sports Death Museum. I would like to take you on a tour.
Yes.
Your hands are
I'm
cold?
dying to see it.
Yeah, I know, your hands are cold, they are perfect, they're very perfect for this, so follow me if you would. I like to go, I don't want you to trip over this. Oh, we don't want another death today. That would not be good.
It wouldn't be
I
a
don't want it to
certified
be
death.
mine.
Yeah, it would be.
I see.
A death without the tour?
Yeah, that's sign up
Well,
first.
that's kind of how.
There's a lot of things to trip over here.
I know, I like I like the idea of starting in the back, you know, it's,
Okay.
the reason I start usually in the back is because I don't want people, when we get finished, I don't want it to be a dead end, get it?
A dead end.
Okay, all right, I guess you get the joke, yeah.
Okay.
All right, so, now, this,
Is this a homeless person asleep? I see a lot of these on.
sir? All right, that's a good
In this
question.
neighborhood,
Sir,
yes.
that's a good
In the
question. That is,
city.
absolutely, that's a good question.
Eternally asleep in pieces.
I see.
Yes, in pieces.
In
But
pieces.
we're getting ahead of the story here. So,
Okay, yeah.
sir, so this is the dress that the late Tristan Silverman wore. She was a coach for the Los Angeles Flippers. She was a roller derby coach.
Oh.
And she was pretty raucous. Kind of used to, you know, she'd pump up her team.
Roller derby is pretty raucous. I
Yeah,
love it.
yeah.
Especially the girls. It's so vicious. I love it.
That's what they say. That's what they say. But so she one night she and her partner got into a real violent argument. Real
Oh.
violence.
Oh.
It was terrible. So her partner got to the point where she said, "I can't stand you anymore." So she took like a nice lady glove here, like this.
Mhm.
You can kind of see it's kind of well worn.
Mm.
She stuffed it in her mouth to keep her just to shut up, stop talking. And she took this wire, which is an actual scoreboard wire from inside of a scoreboard. She took it, she grabbed it, and she strangled Tristan around the neck. In the meantime, you know, she was kind of bloody from the fight they had gotten into. You can kind of see the stain right there. You see the stains? The stains actually came later because her partner wasn't too particularly intelligent. She kind of dismembered her while she was wearing this dress, and she put her into this hockey sports bag. Pretty ingenious, huh?
I guess so. All of her fit in the sports bag after she was disassembled into the proper size pieces. Is that right?
Yeah, that's correct. That is correct.
Mm.
That is correct. That is correct.
Okay.
So, you follow me this way.
Yes. Sir.
Okay. So, now here, these are the, this is items that were used by Orlando the Great. Now, Orlando the Great was a magician.
Okay.
And I know what you're thinking right away. You're probably thinking, magic is a sport? Well, of course it's a sport. It's
Is
one
it?
of the most underrated sports in the world.
Okay.
So he would take these bangles here, and he would strangle his assistants, all of his assistants. Now he had at least 4 assistants. He had these gloves. He would stuff it in their mouths, and he'd strangle them. And then after he was done with that, he would take them and he would chop them up, kind of, pare down and scale their flesh, and he'd throw it into a stew, and he would take all-American national pastime pasta, throw that pasta in, plus he would use White Sox peanuts, and he'd throw that in the stew, and it makes pretty good stew, pasta and flesh and peanuts. It's kind of like eating
Peanuts
it's kind of like
shell,
eating chicken or meat. It's the same effect.
Yeah. Well.
So now here, this is a trophy. This was a trophy that was earned by Allison Delfield. Now she was a bowler, and she was one of the most phenomenal bowlers in all of bowling, in the League of Bowling. I mean, she'd pull strikes every single time she'd walk up to the alley. I mean, apparently they called her magic fingers, but that's another story. Anyway, one night.
I want to hear that one. Forget this one.
I know.
Okay.
All right, I knew that. I knew.
We're gonna get some bunny fingers after this.
What's that?
Bunny fingers, the
Yeah.
carrots.
Yeah, I've got some in my spaceship.
Okay.
So one night was a little worse. She was very tired,
Okay.
and so she just decided to relax and chill, get a drink. So she had more than a few. something like 8 or 9. She apparently they said by the toxicology report she could never remember how many she had, how many drinks she had. So what happened was she ran, as she was walking, she kind of like bumped herself into the mantle of her fireplace. This is where the top, where where the statue was, and the trophy, and the trophy. You can see here. You can see how that's kind of cracked there.
Oh.
Well, because that took kind of like a real nasty fall, and it went on her head. She took the fall after this thing, and then you can kind of see the blood. That's the dried blood, whatever's left of that,
Oh.
And what happened was this took like a 300 sort of a kind of a strange turn, and the statue kind of fell on top of her head and split her head open.
I didn't know bowling was, such a life-threatening, endeavor.
Yeah, bowling.
I mean, I know like bungee jumping, skydiving seem to be dangerous, but bowling seems to be pretty safe,
It only-
Keep both feet on the ground, I guess
no.
not.
I mean, think about it. A 12-pound ball, boy. If someone like Allison had been a little bit more violent, she could have taken that ball and gone straight up.
But done in by her own bowling trophy.
Yeah.
Oh, the irony of it.
Yes. The humanity. So.
Okay. Well, what's next? Well, now this one looks like it could be used as a weapon.
Yes.
This object could be used as
Well.
a weapon. Although we know it's for a very different purpose. For entertaining little kiddies.
Yes,
and
sir.
Giving them a role model as they're growing up.
Yes, sir. I imagine that
An
happened.
actual Louisville slugger bat.
Yes.
Not just any old bat.
Yeah, no, not any old bat.
Okay.
Now, I imagine, sir, that you would know all this because you certainly seem of that era.
Oh, well, okay.
I
I mean, they're not still making Louisville slugger
Well,
bats?
no, I meant that
Oh,
you would
okay.
you would know about you would know more than what the average person would know.
Oh.
Of course, sir, I know
Well,
you.
actually, I know very little about sports.
I know you from somewhere. I'm just trying to remember
Oh.
where. I know your name, but I just can't remember. Anyway,
Oh.
so this bat here was used commonly all the time by the great late Milwaukee Brewer first baseman Joe Schlabotnik. Now, Joe was beloved by his fans and his friends and his colleagues. One afternoon in July 1973, Joe was up kind of during the exhibition, right? The pregame, right before before they start the game, where they were batting practice, and of course the fans are there,
Warming up.
right? Warming up, yeah. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Thank you. I think your name is Mitn Fidl or something.
Right,
Yes.
yeah.
Yes. Thank
Yidl,
you.
Yidl,
Thanks, Yidl.
Mhm.
So.
My mother named me Yidl because she knew I was going to take up to the Fidl later on, many years later.
Yeah, that
So
was.
she
that
had
was
the foresight to name me Yidl right from the start.
Yeah, well, it could have been worse. You could have been named Joe Schlabotnik.
Okay,
So-
right. That would,
so-
I think that would have been bad, but I have to wait for the end of your story to find out for sure.
Well,
good or bad?
yes.
Okay.
This is true.
Well, tell me about
Well, anyway,
Joe.
so Joe.
What happened to Joe?
All right, so
Yeah.
Joe was kind of, you know how it is when you're at batting practice.
Oh,
and you're
okay.
just like,
Uh-huh.
just
Warming up.
and you're knocking in the balls.
I'm going to stand a little farther
Yeah,
back.
I
because-
know.
And I'm worried about Joe and the people around him, and was somebody else warming up at
Well,
the same
what
time?
happened was, there's an overzealous fans just hated Joe.
Oh,
I
yeah?
don't know.
Uh-oh.
I have no clue why he hated Joe. I think there are fans that just hate ball players. I don't know why, because maybe they feel they're not doing enough, or they're maybe they slighted another player. It happens all the time in baseball and other sports, of course. And so this fan managed to jump over the box seats. He overpowered security, jumped over the dugout, grabbed the bat from Joe, and he took the bat and he swung it at Joe's head. You see these, I don't don't know if you can see them here. There's like these really, they're faded now. But they're
Oh
faded.
no!
You see the
Don't show me that!
Yeah, you see
Oh,
the-
I can't stand it anymore.
Oh, they're right here, they're
Oh,
actually right up here, and
it's
they're down
red.
here. It's red, that's right.
Yeah.
That's what's left of the blood stains that Joe sustained
Oh,
when,
poor Joe.
when they took him,
I
in.
see. I see.
Poor Joe, he never saw it coming.
Yeah.
Never saw it coming. So, now I think you should follow me down here.
Okay.
Now, of course, this
Wow,
one.
all these sports, such hazardous sports.
Now, this one.
Oh no, not fishing.
Oh, yes, fishing.
Well, I know fishing is hazardous to the fish to a certain extent, I know that.
Yes, yeah, it is. Well, now, if you know a little bit about fishing, now this fishing hole here, it is a 1952 classic rod reel. It's a fishing pole. It's like a fly pole. You know, you use it in boats. You can
fly casting.
yeah, because you can tell it's pretty ancient. You know, it's about maybe it's a little older than me,
A
but
oldie but goodie.
yeah,
Okay.
oldie but goldie, as
Okay.
John Lennon would say. Now, the great American fisherman Joe Yost used to fish all the time, and for this particular time, he was fishing down off the coast of Florida for great white and sharks. You know, just in case you don't know the term.
I'm imagining a great white is a rather large
Yes,
fish,
it's
and this
probably
seems
about
like
as
a rather lightweight pole. Maybe you're searching for like teenager.
well. He had actually
Adolescent.
He had actually
Great white.
He had strong enough wire. I mean, this is
Oh.
not. This
No,
is
I
not
see.
strong wire here, as you can
Okay.
tell,
But
he had strong wire.
He was loaded for bear.
Yeah,
Or
he was
He was loaded for a great white.
right, and he was
Okay.
fighting with this fish, and finally,
Uh-huh.
after 45 minutes, he says, "You know, I got a better idea."
Yeah?
So Joe, he took the pole
Uh-huh.
and he aimed it straight for the fish, and
Uh-huh.
he speared him like a
the
javelin.
fish.
He threw it at the fish, you
Uh-huh.
know, and tried to spear him like a javelin.
Uh-huh.
The problem was that the fishing pole bounced off a rock, did a 360-degree turn,
Uh-huh.
like a boomerang,
Uh-huh.
and it pierced Joe straight in the heart, killed him instantly. Poor Joe, he never saw it coming. Never saw it coming. Probably one of our most popular items in the Sports Death Museum. But
All these sports are so hazardous.
yeah,
Of course, they wouldn't be in a sports death museum if they weren't hazardous.
I know. It's a shame. It's a total shame. So we're at the end of our tour,
Oh, okay.
and I know there's stuff here, but it's still in
It's not a
process.
sport.
Yeah, well, it is a sport. Electrical wiring is a sport. That's
Okay.
another kind of sport. But,
Okay.
but it's just there.
Okay.
So I know that you don't want to leave empty-handed, so I have a certificate for you.
Oh.
It says I survived Sid Yiddish's Sports Death Museum
Oh,
tour,
I see, okay.
and I'm going to have you
I
sign
did
it.
not leave the tour in this particular,
Oh, in
vehicle
that
here.
particular box. I
That's
don't
good.
think you're going to
That's
end in
good.
well. Yeah, I know. That's usually how we don't want people in them.
Yeah.
But you never know.
You never know.
You might be the first. I
Nothing
mean,
like my
it's,
step.
well, okay. So I want you to sign it right here where it says victim.
Okay, victim. I don't really like the sound of that
Well,
terminology, but
Well, you know,
I'll do
it's-
as you instruct here.
well, that's good.
Okay.
That's always good.
It's,
You can just do it right here.
Okay.
There you go. Pretty easy. And then I'll
Yeah.
sign it. I'll sign it right here. Hey, how you doing, Dave? Oops, wrong name. We don't want that name.
Okay.
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 And we are going to take a picture of you and I.